Right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Psychosin project here on Total Metal Radio, and I'm here with Paul from The Answer. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. It's nice to be back in Southend. Looking forward to the gig tonight.
Excellent, excellent. Now, how's the tour been going so far?
It's been going good. We're kind of getting to the... It's, I think at the beginning, it always takes a few shows to find your feet, especially with new record just out, and some people come to the shows haven't heard it yet, so they're just taking it in. So it takes a while to get the set right and have the right sort of
balance,
new songs and right balance. So.
Now, as you say, you released a new album, Raise a Little Hell. I believe it was last week or the week before, if I remember rightly. How have you found the reaction to it has been so far with reviews, etc.?
It's been positive. I think it went to number 1 in the rock chart, and in the midweeks went in at 21. So it's been doing well that way. And I think it's kind of people probably hear a slight return to the early sort of sound of Rise on it, which it wasn't an overly conscious decision when we were recording. It was kind of, we were just very relaxed about it, whereas the previous album, New Horizon, we really kind of thought about taking a new approach to it, which in some ways worked, in some ways didn't suit us. So this time we kind of just didn't get to overthink it too much and think it came out better.
Well, at least you took the chance and sort of found out whether it suited you or not. So. Now, how do you feel the band's sound has evolved over the years?
I think we kind of, obviously in the first album it was very much a sum of our record collections at that stage, and we had a lot of kind of different sort of very wide ranging styles of material within the rock and blues format, because I guess we had 4 years to kind of write and stockpile songs for that first album. And we're very eclectic taste, so I think it reflected that a little bit. As we've gone on, I think that's become a bit more streamlined. The sound of the band's a bit more focused. The songwriting's got better. And I think it was kind of, we've always had maybe like a very poppy song on each record that's maybe stuck out a bit too much. The first record, maybe it was Always on Everyday Demons, with tracks like Pride and Comfort Zone. Revival had Can't Remember, Can't Forget, Nowhere Freeway. And I think definitely as the band's gone on that way, we've learned to do those songs and make them work better so they don't stick out so much. They have more of the band sound but still have that kind of commercial appeal. Yeah,
a bit like your current single Red that you've just released, which has that rock sound but it's still catchy as all hell, to be honest with you.
I think that's where we've definitely evolved a lot of things over the years.
Now, you said earlier obviously you'll have very eclectic influences with the band. How have those influences changed over the years in regards to the band's sound?
I think when we started out, very heavily blues influenced. I think it was very apparent that we had that. And you would have some songs that were borderline 12-bar blues, things like Doctor on the first album and Memphis Water. And as that's gone on, I think there's certainly been a bluesy feel to some of the grooves, but it hasn't been as blues derived.
Not as prevalent.
As it was in the beginning. And I think also we kind of grew up in the 90s as kids, so the bands that were happening were Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, stuff like that, which we've kind of started to embrace that a bit more in the last 2 records, and some heavier grooves and more down-tuned stuff, so that's something new that's come into.
Excellent. Now, what's the reaction to the new tracks been when you've been playing them live, as you were sort of talking to me about as we come in?
It's been good. We started the tour off. We opened with a new song, Long Live the Renegades, and just from online, it was a very popular track, and people seem to be enjoying it. And we released a lyric video for that, so I guess it's in people's conscious. But it wasn't working as an opening track, so we had to change that around, and we're starting with another new track, I Am What I Am, which is working. Red's going down really well. Title track, Raise a Little Hell, is working really well. Pretty much, we're doing quite a lot of new stuff, so it's we're taking a chance with the audience that way, and it's been working good so far. Aristocrats, another track that's been going down well. So I think there's obviously, when you do a new record, the band just wants to play as many new songs as possible, and then play
see if they could get away with the whole album in some
with
cases.
the whole album, yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, I reviewed the album myself a little while ago from a YouTube channel as well as various sort of online things, and pretty much I've found that every song on there could very well be a hit single, so you've definitely got an absolute winner on there, on your hands there. Now, did you find that the new album was easier or harder to write this time than the last album?
I think it was a lot easier because there's always pressure on, you know. I think every band, every new record, it has to be the record, you know. You always have that pressure, no matter how successful you are, and we had that as ever. But I think with New Horizon, just before we started working on it, we had a lot of changes within, not within the band, but within those around us. Like we changed management, we changed record label, and it was a new beginning. But it also, we kind of had to question things about why, you know, we had to try something different. And that got into the creative process as well. And we'd kind of been writing songs for that album for maybe 2 months, and then we stopped, kind of scrapped all that, and started afresh and started working with Toby Jepson, wrote some songs with him, and it was a different approach for us. And I think I alluded to it earlier that some ways that worked and some ways it didn't, and this time we kind of went back to what works for us and didn't question it, didn't take too much outside influence. And some of the tracks that we had started writing for New Horizon and Scrap we came back to, and there's things like Strange Kind of Nothing's one of those, Long Live the Renegades is one of those. So we kind of, you know, realised we weren't that far off pace as we thought, and got back to it. And we also got to work with Will Maya, the producer, who is an old friend and has worked with us since the first EP we did with Alberts, Keep Believing, and he did some tracks to the first album. I've done guitars with him on Everyday Demons. So he's an old friend. He's someone we can be very professional with in a musical sense, but also, you know, we can go down the pub and have a joke. And no one takes themselves too seriously, but we respect each other's opinions. So to work with him, it made it easier as well. Very easy to record, very easy to pre-production for the album. And
so all in all, just a sort of relaxed atmosphere, the songwriting, etc.
Yeah, it was a very relaxed atmosphere. I think we wrote it even quicker than we did New Horizon. I think we started maybe in May. And Will came, we did some pre-production in August, and then we were in his studio in September. 5 weeks later it was done, so it was quite to have no songs to having a finished album was quite a quick pace.
Now you mentioned you've obviously changed record labels recently. You're now Metal Blade Records, which is
Napalm.
Yeah, which is part of Metal Blade. Do you find it a bit strange being on it, what is essentially a sort of label that's known for the heavier bands? Obviously, they own Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that as well.
It certainly was at the beginning. We kind of looked at the roster they had, and the Answer's not the sort of band that would. There weren't many similar type of acts on there, if any. But I think it's become. They reached out to us and wanted to do something different, you know, and get away from the death metal and the heavy stuff. We explained to them that, you know, you're going to have to approach it in a slightly different manner, and they took that on board. And we've done 2 records with them now, and I think the relationship's improved, and we've signed for another 2. So it's going well. And I mean, they understand. I think they understand the Answer a bit more now, and they know how to market us and where to put us. And I think it's kind of, for rock music, it's kind of marginalised by major labels now. So the independent labels that have been successful, you know, like Metal Blade, like Napalm, I guess previously Road Runner would have been one too.
Before Nickelback sort of exploded on there.
They've started to branch out. You know, like Earache are doing it too. I mean, you wouldn't put Rival Sons and Carcass and stuff like
No,
that
no.
in the same, and they're doing it. So I think it's a new kind of trend that seems to work.
Well, it's working in your favour, let's face it. So
Yeah.
you're getting a good label that's obviously backing you fully and everything. So now, what do you feel creates the sort of perfect The Answer song? I've stumped you now.
Yeah. I think it's probably a good sort of strong. It has to have a strong groove. James, he's a drummer. He moves a lot of air, so we need that. It's got to have a big riff. I think it's kind of the trick is to meld a big kick-ass riff to a big chorus, and it has to have a guitar solo. It has to have a guitar solo in the middle that works within the song. That doesn't seem like, oh, we put a guitar solo in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do that, and it's you have to make it work with a little bit of production and stuff. But when it has that and it can work in the room with all those ingredients, then that's the perfect Answer song.
Excellent. Now, are you looking to play any festivals this year?
Yeah, we've got this tour. We're going to go into Europe, and then we're going to the States. We're doing some shows with Whitesnake and some festivals out there. Some of our own shows. Then we'll come back and do some European festivals at the moment. I think we're doing Greenfields in Switzerland, Nova Rock in Austria, Hellfest in France, and Wacken in Germany. So that's
Right, so a nice sort of cross section, essentially.
yeah, some heavy stuff and some more sort of mainstream.
Now, what can people expect from a live The Answer gig?
It's kind of, some of it steps back in time, and some of it takes you right up to the present day. It's going to have lots of energy. We'll certainly pay homage to our blues roots, but there's something much heavier about the band these days that I think people are going to latch on to. Cormac's a very dynamic frontman, which you'll see tonight, and if he's in the form and you're down the front, you might get a nice shot of whiskey, because he used to be a barman. He started to incorporate that into the act. He did last night anyway. I don't know if that's because it was St. Patrick's Day or it's going
Or it
to
just
become
happened
a
to fit
regular.
together nicely.
But I think it's if you like rock and roll, you won't leave disappointed in terms of your songs, musicianship, and energy.
Yeah. Now, how would you yourself describe the band's sound?
Obviously, I think we started the blues, and we take a few left turns, or kind of we followed a similar blueprint to Zeppelin when we started, which was, you start with the blues, but you add in all the chords you can take from folk music, you add in some of the stuff from prog rock, and you try and make it all fit into 4.5 minutes, or even 3. So it's a similar thing. Just real strong grooves, heavy riffs, big choruses, and ripping solos.
Excellent. Now, what are the future plans for the band?
We're going to tour. This one goes to the 28th in the UK. Then we head into Europe. Then off to the States for Whitesnake shows. And then the festival season starts. After that, there could be a trip to Japan in September, or else we could be starting on another record. So it's going to be pretty busy gigging wise up until September. Anyway. Then we'll see.
Okay. Finally, have you got anything you'd like to say to your fans who are listening tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thanks for sticking with us. Hope you're enjoying the new record. It's been great being back out on the road, and hopefully looking forward to taking the show to you somewhere soon.
Right, excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Ladies and gentlemen, The Answer. Thank you.